In this video, we are going to go over the Foundation Level Junior Certificate Mathematics exam from 2015. Question 1 says find the value of each of the following. This is part A. It says 542 plus 419. So remember, you can use your calculator in this exam, so let's enter these values in and see what we get. 542 plus 419 is equal to 961. B. Given 3,125 divided by 5. So 3,125 divided by 5, and we get 625. Part C says 2 to the power of 3. Well, that's equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. Or equivalently, if you wanted to use this power button, you would say 2 to the power of 3, and you'll still get 8. Whatever calculator you're using should have some equivalent button that does the same function. Part D. 2 multiplied by 8 plus 3. 2 times 8 plus 3, and the 8 plus 3 is in brackets. That is equal to 22. Okay, moving on. Part E. It says we're given a clock that shows what time a maths class begins at. At what time does the maths class begin? So we have our clock face. You can see the hour hand is pointing to just before the 2, and the minute hand is pointing at the 9. So that means the minute hand is 3/4 of the way around the clock. It's at 45 minutes. So it's 45 minutes past 1. So the time is 1:45 on the clock. Presumably that's 1:45 p.m. or 13:45. The class finishes 40 minutes later. At what time does the class finish at? Okay, if it starts at 1:45, well then 30 minutes later it'll be at 2:15, and 40 minutes later it'll be at 2:25 2. So that was E part 1. E part 2, it'll be at 2:25. 25 minutes past 2 o'clock. It then says school finishes at 16:10. Show this time on the clock. So we've got a clock face here. We want to show 16:10. Now to do that, we have to convert this into a 12-hour format. So 16 minus 12, that leaves 4. So the hour is going to be 4 o'clock. And 10 is 10 minutes. So that's the number 2. So the minute hand is going to be pointing to the 2. And the hour hand is going to be pointing to the 4. Question 2. A bus fare is €1.85 per student. Find the fare for 4 students. Okay, so it costs $1.85 per student. So for 4 students, it will be $4. times that amount. So if we have 1.85 times 4 students, that will be equal to 7.4, or €7.40. Then says Aisling pays the fare for 4 students with a €10 note. How much change should she get? Well, we've just figured out that 4 students cost €7.40 and she pays €10. So 10 minus 7.4, the difference will be equal to 2.6. So she will get €2.60 in change. Question 3. The sets A and B are shown in the diagram. So we have 2 sets, A and B. Fill in the elements of the following 2 sets. So part 1, we want to fill in what all the elements of A are. So A, this is just asking us what numbers are within the circle A. So we've got the numbers 1, 3, 5, and the number 4 is also in this circle. So the set A will be equal to 1, 3, 4, and 5. Next it says, what's in A intersection B? So they use this symbol here. It looks sort of like a lowercase n. And that means the intersection between the sets A and B. So that means what's in both of them. So what's in this circle and in this circle. And the only number is the number 4. So A intersection B is equal to the set containing the number 4. Then says in part B, find the mean of these 5 numbers. So to find the mean, we have to add up the 5 numbers and then divide by the number of numbers. So the mean will be equal to 18 plus 15 plus 11 plus 13 plus 13, and that's all going to be divided by the number of numbers, which is 5. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers given to us. We're going to add them all together and then divide by 5, and that will give us the mean of these 5 numbers. So we've got 18 plus 15 plus 11 plus 13 plus 13, and that's equal to 17, which we then divide by the number of numbers, which is 5, to be left with 14. So the mean of those 5 numbers is 14. Question 4. A group of people were asked which of 4 brands of cola, A, B, C, or D, each liked best. The results are shown in the bar chart below. So we're given 4 results. So we see that 10 people liked A, B was liked by 16 people, C by 6, and D by 12. And we have to fill in the answers. So it's the first question. Which brand was the most popular? Well, we can see that from the chart that B was the most popular. 16 people liked B, as opposed to 10, 6, and only 12 people who liked A, C, and D. So B is the most popular. Part B, which brand was the least popular? Again, we can see this is C, because A, B, and D each have more people that said they were better brands of cola than C. So C the least popular. The next part, it says fill in the missing letter in this sentence. Brand blank was twice as popular as brand C. Okay, well the first thing we need to look at is how popular was brand C. So brand C was liked by 6 people. So to be twice as popular, it must have been liked by 12 people. So which of the other brands were liked by exactly 12 people? Brand A was liked by 10, brand B was liked by 16, and brand D was liked by 12. So the answer is brand D was twice as popular as brand C. The answer is D. Question 5. The table below shows the mean temperature in Moore Park for the first 8 months of 2014. So it shows us the first several months and the corresponding temperatures. So in January the average temperature was 5 degrees, or in May the average temperature was 12 degrees, or August it was 14 degrees, and we're going to have to use this in some way. The bar chart below shows this information for the first 4 months in the table. So for January it shows that the average temperature was 5 degrees, and for February again 5 degrees. For March it says it was 7 degrees, as it says up here, and April 10 degrees. Finish the graph to show all the information in the table. So we have to fill in the remaining information. So we've got the first 4 months. So the 5th month is May. Temperature in May was 12 degrees. So we have to go up to the 12 and create a bar exactly that high. So we've got 12 degrees. The next month, June, 15 degrees. So we want to go all the way up to 15, and that will be the height of this bar in the chart. So the temperature in June was 15 degrees. In July, the temperature was 16 degrees. So we want to go all the way up to the very top. To show that in July, the temperature was 16 degrees. And in August, the temperature was 14 degrees. So we have to go to 14 degrees and drop down like so. So there's our graph completed. So we've taken all the information in the table and we've displayed it in our graph. Now, part B. In which month was the mean temperature 12 degrees Celsius? So that just means in what month was 12 the temperature. So we want to go to the number 12, and we want to go across until we come to the only month that has that temperature, which is the month of May. Alternatively, we could have looked at the numbers here and seen which month has the number 12 beneath it, and again we'll see the month May. So in which month was the mean temperature 12 degrees? The answer is May. For how many of these months was the mean temperature above 9 degrees Celsius? So again, we want to use our graph and we want to see at what time was the temperature above 9. So if we want to look at everything above this line, along the 9 degrees line. So we have here, 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 and here. So April, May, June, July, and August all had a mean temperature above 9 degrees Celsius. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months that had temperatures above 9 degrees. Question 6. Calculate the value of x in this triangle. So to do this, we first need a bit of background knowledge, which is something that you need to know when going into the exam, and that is that three angles in a triangle, and that's in any triangle, sum to 180 degrees. So that means when you add up the three angles in any triangle, you'll get 180 degrees. So we know that this angle plus this angle plus this angle has to equal to 180. So 37 plus 85 plus x has to equal to 180. Okay, so now let's simplify the left-hand side a little bit. So 37 plus 85 will be equal to 122. 122 plus x is equal to 180. Now we can subtract 122 from both sides of this equation. So we have 180 minus 122 will leave 58. So x must be equal to 58. And because it's an angle, that's 58 degrees. Now, part B asks which of the shapes A, B, or C is the correct net of a cube. So, what they're asking us is, if you unfold a cube, which one of these shapes can you get? And you can only get one of them. So if you were to try to fold, say, A along each of the given lines, then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides all on top of each other. But if you go around a cube, there are only 4 sides, and then there's one side on both to the left and right of that. So it can't be A. If we look at C, if we try to fold that up, these parts are going to get in the way, so it's not going to be C. So all it really can be is B, so let's check, will that fold up correctly? So if we imagine these 3 parts folding upwards to make 3 of the sides of the cube, we'll take this part as the base, and this part will fold over and become the top, and this part will fold down to become the remaining side. So B is in fact the net of a cube, which means that B is, if you take a cube and you unfold it, you can end up with a shape like B. So our answer is B. Now, part C says construct the bisector of the angle A using only a compass and a ruler. Okay, so what we need is our compass and our ruler, and we want to construct the bisector of this given angle. So what that means is we want to construct the exact middle of this angle. So we want to be able to split this one big angle into 2 smaller angles, each of which is half the big one. So to do that, we take our compass, and at any distance we just put the point on the point of the angle. I'm going to swing an arc until it connects with both sides of the angle. So it's connecting both over here and over there. Once we've done that, we're going to take the compass and put the point of intersection between the arc we've just drawn and a line from the angle that we're given. Again, we're going to swing another arc up here. Next, we do the same thing with the other point. So we put the compass, point of the compass in there and swing an arc towards the middle of the angle. And now we have this nice point here where these two arcs meet. And if we connect this point to the middle of our angle, then we will have perfectly bisected it. So we've divided this big angle into two halves. Part D. Using a compass, draw the biggest circle that will fit into the square below. So given a square, we're asked to draw the biggest circle that we can. So to make the circle as big as possible, we're going to want the center of the circle to be as close to the middle of the square as we can. So let's see where the middle of the square is. We've got these nice lines, so we just have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's a square, so there's also got to be 9 going down. So that means we want to go halfway, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the middle here. Now that we have the midpoint, we just need to know what the radius is. So the radius is going to be this distance, because these 4 points are all the same distance from the center, and they're all the closest points to the center. So we put our compass in the center. We put the edge right there, and we draw our circle. And we end up with this nice circle as big as possible and completely within the square. Now finally it says find the radius of your circle. Now my picture over here is a little bit bigger than the one on the exam paper, so I'm just going to measure it on this. We're going to get our ruler. We're going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be approximately 3.7 centimeters. 3.7 centimeters. So that means is on this, where the diagram would be drawn in the exam, I'm just measuring this distance. And in the exam booklet that is approximately 3.7 centimeters. Question 7. Wayne wants to buy a motorbike and he has two options to pay for it. We have option 1, and we have some information about that, and down here we have option 2, and we have some more information about that. So, option 1, Wayne can pay a deposit of 800 euros and then pay 120 euros a month for 24 months. And option 2, Wayne can make one payment of 3,200 euros for the motorbike. So, part A, find the total cost of the motorbike using option 1. So, the cost is going to be a deposit of 800 euros. And then we've got 24 months multiplied by 120 euros each month. Well, that's going to be equal to 24 times 120, 2,880. So the total that he will be paying is this plus this, so 2,880 plus 800 will be 3,680. So that right there is the total cost of the motorbike using option 1. Now, option 2 is that Wayne can pay 3,200 all at once. So question B says how much money would Wayne save if he chooses option 2 instead of option 1? So all they're asking here is what is the difference? So option 1 costs 3,680. Option 2 costs 3,200. difference will be 480 euros. So, Wen will save 480 euros if he chooses option 2 instead of option 1. Question 8. Below is the photograph of a soccer pitch. The pitch is a rectangle and is outlined in white in the photograph. The length of the pitch is marked. So the length is this side. So the other side will be the width. Question A. Using your ruler, find the length and the width of the pitch in the photograph. Given your answer in centimeters, correct to 1 decimal place. So the length is going to be about 9.5 centimeters. And the width is going to be the distance down here. Is going to be approximately 6.1 centimeters. So there's our answer for the first part. Part B is find the perimeter of the pitch in the photograph in centimeters. So what that's asking us is, what is, if you were to walk all the way around the pitch, how far would you walk? So you're going to walk this distance, plus this distance, plus this distance, plus this distance. So that's going to be the length, which is 9.5, plus the width, which is going to be 6.1. And we're going to walk the length again, plus 9.5, and then the width one last time, plus 6.1. Okay, so that's 9.5 plus 6.1 plus 9.5 plus 6.1. That's equal to 31.2. So the perimeter of the pitch is 31.2 centimeters. Part C. The photograph is to a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meters. Find the actual perimeter of the pitch. So, every 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meters. So if the perimeter in the picture is 31 centimeters, then the real perimeter will be equal to 31.2, our perimeter, times 10 meters. So for each centimeter there are 10 meters. So we'll get 312 meters. Question 9. Grania is taking part in a training session. The graph shows the distance she traveled during the session. The 4 parts of the graph are labeled A, B, C, and D. So we've got parts A, B, C, and D. Write the letters A, B, C, and D into the table to match the description with the correct part of the graph. So we have to look at the graph and see what part of the graph matches each of these descriptions. So the first description is Grania runs for 20 minutes. Okay, so when she's running, she's going to be moving further and further away from her starting point. So we know it won't be B and it won't be D, because at B she's staying the same distance, because on this y-axis we're graphing the distance. So because this is flat, the distance is not increasing at part B, and it's also not increasing at part D. So we know it's not either of those. Now, it says she runs for 20 minutes. Part A lasts for 0, 5, 10 minutes. Part C lasts for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So part C, she is running, and it lasts for 20 minutes. So the first answer is part C. Second statement is that Grania stops for 15 minutes. So we know that it's not A and it's not C, because when she's stopped, it's going to be flat, because she's not moving. So it's either B or D. Now for B, she stops for 5 minutes. So from 10 minutes to 15 minutes is a difference of 5 minutes. Part D, she stops for 5, 10, 15 minutes. So she stops for 15 minutes in part D. Next one, it says she walks for 10 minutes. Okay, so we know it's not D or B, and we know that because she's moving. It says she's walking, so she's moving. So she can't be staying still like she is in B and D. We also know it's not C, because we've already described C as her running for 20 minutes, so she can't also be walking for 10 minutes. So that just leaves part A. And we don't even have to read the last one, because we've got A, C, and D, so now the last one has to be part B. But let's read it anyway to double check that we're right. So Grania stops for 5 minutes. So in part B she is stopped because it's a flat line, and it does last for 5 minutes. So the answers are C, D, A, and B in that order. Question 10. Find the value of 3x plus 2 when x is equal to 5. So we're asked for 3x plus 2 when x is equal to 5. So that means we've got 3 and x is 5 plus 2. So that's going to be equal to 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2, which is going to be equal to 17. So the value of 3x plus 2 is 17 when x is equal to 5. Next we move on to part B. It says simplify 7x plus 2y plus x plus 3y. So when we simplify, we want to add the same terms together. So we're going to add the y's together, and we're going to add the x's together. So that's going to be equal to, so the x's are 7 plus 1, so that's 8 x's. And the y's are 2 plus 3, so that's 5 y's. So we've simplified it to 8x plus 5y. Now part C. Solve the equation 3x minus 1 equals 11. Now whenever we're solving an equation, there's one rule, and that is whatever we do on one side of the equals, we do on the other side of the equals. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get x on its own, so we want to get rid of this minus 1. So to do that, we're going to add 1 to both sides of the equation. So we're going to have 3x minus 1 plus 1 is equal to 11 plus 1. So we're adding 1 on both sides. Now we'll have plus 1 minus 1, so that'll cancel itself out. And the right hand side simplifies a little bit. So we get 3x is equal to 11 plus 1, which is 12. Now we've got what 3x is, so we want to divide both sides by 3 to get what 1x is. So we get that x is equal to 12 divided by 3, which is equal to 4. Question 11. The line segment AB is shown on the coordinate diagram below. So we've got our line A to B. Write down the coordinates of A and the coordinates of B. So remember, the coordinates will be some point x, comma, y. So it's going to look like this. So we're going to have A is equal to, so the x coordinate is along this direction. So the x coordinate is 2. This is the x coordinate here, 2. And then the y coordinate is going to be up 1. So it's 1. So the coordinates of A are 2, comma, 1. And the coordinates of B, this time we want to go all the way out to here to get to B. So the x coordinate of B will be 6. And the y coordinate of B will be 4. So those are the coordinates of A and B. Part B says find the slope of the line AB. So to do this, we're going to take out our tables book that you'll be given in the exam, and we're going to turn it to the page with coordinate geometry formulas on it. And we're going to use this formula here, the slope of the line PQ. So in this case our line is called AB, but it's exactly the same. That tells us that the slope, m, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it tells us that the slope m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So there's our formula. So that means the slope of this line is going to be equal to y2, so that's the y coordinate of the second point, so that's 4, minus y1, the y coordinate of the first point, so that's 1, over x2, that's the x coordinate of the second point, that's 6, minus x1, that's the x coordinate of the first point, that's 2. So that will be equal to 3 over 6 minus 2 is 4. So the slope of the line AB is 3 over 4. Part C says using your ruler, draw a line on the diagram through A that has a greater slope than the slope of AB. So all that means is we need a line through the point A that has a steeper slope. Any line, for example, this one. So that line has a greater slope. Question 12. Shauna has a bag of marbles. The picture shows the number of marbles of each colour in the bag. So there are 3 colours. There are these black ones, there's these white ones, and there's these sort of grey ones. Fill in the table to show the number of marbles of each colour in Shauna's bag. So, how many black ones are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, black are 6. White are 1, 2, 3. That's given. And grey are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's our table. Part B, find the total number of marbles in the bag. So all we have to do is count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 marbles. There are 14 marbles in the bag. 1 marble is picked at random from the bag. Find the probability that a white marble has been picked. Okay, so the probability of any event is equal to the number of successful outcomes divided by the number of possible outcomes. So that means that the probability of some event E is equal to the number of successful outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. So, what does that mean? The successful outcomes, that means that successful outcomes are whenever we get what we're looking for. So what we're looking for is a white marble. So there are 1, 2, 3 white marbles in the bag. So there are 3 successful outcomes. There are 14 possible outcomes. So each one of these marbles could be picked, and we've just counted that there are 14 marbles in total. So 3 over 14 is the probability that a white marble is picked. Part D, find the probability that a black or a grey marble is picked. So that just means the probability of success is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 14. So in this case we're going to have 11 out of 14. So what that means is 11 of the marbles are either black or grey. And there are 14 marbles in total, so the probability that we pick either a black one or a grey one is 11 out of 14. Question 13. X is a number. Here are 5 terms containing x. So we're given these 5 terms. Write each term into the table to match it with the correct description. And then it gives us an example. The square root of the number is the square root of x. So the number divided by 2, well, that will be x over 2. So the number divided by 2. Next one, the number multiplied by 2, well, that will be 2 times x, 2x. The next one is the number is added to 2, so that means 2 is added to the number, 2 plus x. And the last one, the number is squared. That means the number is multiplied by itself, or x squared. Question 14. A pattern is made using the white tiles and the shaded tiles. Here are the first 2 terms in the pattern. So we see we go white, black, white in the first term, and then white, black, white, white, black, white in the second term. And then it says draw the third term in the pattern. The third term in the pattern is going to be 3 long. So it started with 1, then it went up to 2, so now we're going to have 3 in the third term. And each one, we're adding another white one at the top. So we're going to have white, white, white. We're going to have black, black, black. And then we're going to have white, white, white at the bottom. So there's the third term. So what we've done is each time we add another column onto the end of what we previously had. So we start with term 1, then term 2 is term 1 plus another column, term 3 will be term 2 plus another column. Part B, fill in the fraction in the boxes below to show what fraction of each term is shaded. So term 1, well, there's 1, 2, 3 terms in total, and one of them is shaded, so we'll have 1 over 3. Term 2, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes in total, and 2 of them are shaded, so we'll have 2 over 6. And term term 3, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in total. And 1, 2, 3 of them are shaded, so we'll have 3 over 9. Part C. Kieran draws another term of the pattern. It has 14 white tiles. How many shaded tiles should it have? Okay, so for this, all we need to notice is that each time we've got the same proportion. So we've got 1 over 3 in the first term, so 1 out of the 3 tiles is shaded. Then 2 out of 6, but that's a fraction that can be simplified, and that simplifies down to 1 over 3. And 3 over 9 can also be simplified down to 1 over 3. So in each case, 1/3 of it is shaded, and 2/3 of it are not shaded. So if it has 14 white tiles, then that must be 2/3 of the total shape. So if we divide that in half, we'll get 1/3. So 7 shaded is equal to the other 1/3. So it should have 7 shaded tiles. And we're done. This has been the 2015 Junior Certificate Foundation Level Mathematics exam. For more videos, please go to my channel where you can see more fully worked solutions to the Junior Certificate and Leaving Certificate Mathematics exams.